wari duau ai no apabichu hanyau siana wari ayal amaleta sula na bibaga bra hanu ni ulalia rajubo biba beju ni na buhanya ubu wari duau ai no apabichu hanyau siana wari ayal Danila niarega Nwasandi awera Twagunura Burubununi O Ahayawo Itara Omega Badanila niarega Nwasandi awera Twagunura Burubununi O Ahayawo Itaga umekayo Anua sandi Hawaii Anua yumura Hawaii Anua gunura Numagumeru niya Girogotina Gayo itanubame Webe nari hini ya veyunuma Gumeru niya Tubarame Habanire amunyega Gayo itanubame Webe nari hini veyunuma Gumeru niya Batanila niyarga Nwasandi awera Nwagunura Burubunune O ayago Itaga umekayo Batanila niyarga Nwasandi awera Twagunura Burubunune O ayago Itaga umekayo Anua sandi Awaira Anua yumura Awaira Atuagunura numagumeru niya Diyorugotina Gayo itanubame Veyume nari Veyumuma Gumeru niya Oh, Inesiwu How Bariana Oh, Inesiwu How Bariana Oh, Inesiwu How Bariana Tirani Bugaya How Nilibu Adi Hamidikayo Naohaya Alawe Yununia Inado Tabundigi Adirone Nialo Matela Kumadia Niyahu Niyagu Bailuko Luagu la Sule Yumalani Rumbo Adi Hamidikayo Naohaya Alawe Yununia Inado Tabundigi Adirone Lubakabame Judera Bana Negebulia Kunagayo Hagaya Waha Lubakabame Judera Bana Negebulia Kunagayo Abiyu Anuma Lubawe Timeju Yagayo Idara Lumutina Hamugaye Keluba Mawara Bagiyo Keluba Madara Bagiyo Lunime Tubi Alua Goveni Gayo Lulati Alei Gini Buma Bawaranu Budi Numagu Wana Besinawa Kamasi Tiatina Buago La Tukatigio Uduapa. Bakaba mejudera bana. Nega bira kuna kayo. Bakaba mejudera bana. Nega bira kuna kayo. Abiyana numa. Luba weti mejuya kayo. Igara lumutina. Hamukaye. Hilba mawara. Bagiyo. Hilba madara. Bagiyo. Luni mejubi. Alwa guani kayo. Lula tirai gini puma bawara luo. Au. Buni bamaku. Ana besina. Kama silihatina. Buago. Katiyo. Uduapa. Sereme. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. We hope you enjoyed our presentation. Yes, we're off to a great start. So we want to give about 15 minutes time for you to go and have some food. And so we'll have food and then we'll come back. There's no eating in this room, but there's two other rooms and the main foyer where the food is being served where we are to take our food. So if we could just take 15 minutes to grab food because we know several of us are probably very hungry. So if you could go ahead and do that, that would be great. And I'm going to invite my dear sister, Apostle Only Love, to come and give us a prayer over our time together. Please come, Apostle Only Love, and just bless our food for us, please. She's a dear sister of the faith, and I know she just loves to offer prayer when it's time.
Thank you, Reverend Angelique. Thank you, Reverend Angelique, and honor to Dr. Iva and all of the elders. Creator, we come to you, thanking you for this week, thanking you for our family who are sharing their culture with us. We thank you for all the hands who have prepared the food we're about to partake of from field to plate. We ask that your spirit, your breath, your ruach be with us tonight as we seek to return home. Be with our people from Honduras to the continent to Africa and give us freedom. We thank you and we ask you to provide for all who are hungry among us. Amen. Amen.
Yes, and Ashe. So let's take 15 minutes to have food in the other rooms and come back in about 15 minutes, okay? Thank you. Thank you so much.
on the stage. But the thing is,
I don't see anybody on the stage.
No.
yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Good.
But we can't hear you at all.
Yeah, we can hear you, but the thing is, we want to know if you can hear people on the stage. Can somebody go there and then just talk so we know that if we can hear you from there?
Testing.
No, that's not working.
Check.
No,
No.
Check. Can you hear me?
not yet.
You should
Not
be
yet.
able to hear me.
I think you have to choose the mic.
Yeah, they got to select it for.
Yeah, there is an option where you can select your mic, not from the laptop, but maybe from the
check,
system that you are plugging in.
Check. Check 1 2 1 2 1 1.
They can hear the audio, right?
Did they say they can hear it now?
That's the truth. No, ask the people in there.
Albert, can you hear me? Albert, can you hear me?
The audio is off. That's why.
Yeah, but you're the feed. You're the you guys are attached to the board, right? Right. Yeah, so whatever sound you get into the board.
You good?
You're still checking the sound,
Check.
I believe.
1 2 1 2.
Or otherwise, they can join
Check.
in with a call or like a phone.
Exactly. They could
we
get
can-
somebody to join
yeah.
the Zoom and they use their mic.
They can use the mic.
So Paula, now just to get back to you, we say technology is both a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
It is making it possible for us to connect, Maurice from Senegal, is it Denver?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And I'm here close to DC, and some of the colleagues around the globe, and they're just connecting from Harlem. We knew for a fact, because we later learned that the center doesn't really have a setup.
Yeah,
like-
we could sort that out later, but since we have people online,
Right.
all I need to know is, again, if I can be chatting silently while the feed, when it works from the room.
Can you hear me in the Zoom?
Yeah, but there is an echo. I think you have to mute the laptop. Like we can hear you, but there is an echo.
For what? For your feed?
Am muted.
Check. Can you hear me? In the Zoom, can you hear me?
There's a little echo.
There's a little echo.
Check. Can you hear me in the Zoom? Okay, beautiful. Good job.
outcomes of the forum is not as pleasing to her, but I think as our dear sister Angelique was somewhat optimistic about the outcomes, at least the indication that we're moving forward. There's already a date for next meeting. There's an invitation from the Brazilian government.
Hi. Hello. Is it part of the libation? Okay. Brothers and sisters, put your hands together for the Libaya Marasa. It's a Garifuna cultural group all the way from Honduras living in New York. I welcome, brothers and sisters, to remembering our roots in Harlem. This is where the Renaissance for the liberation of our people started. So we are happy to host you. And without further ado, I want to introduce the people who do the libation, Cynthia Ellis and Brother Kasik from Jamaica. Brother Kasik is from Jamaica, the Maroons community, and Cynthia Ellis from the Garifuna Nation.
Boite Goyo. This doesn't work, sure? Boite Goyo. Woo! Woo! Boite Goyo, it works or it doesn't work? Well, we'll do without it, all right? My colonial name is Cynthia Ellis, but my Garifuna name is Lobafu Isieni. Welcome, brothers and sisters. This is going to be a quick invitation to involve you, include you in the libation process, and I want to present our brother Alex, who will be doing the drumming. We'll first call on the spirit of our ancestors. We are going to do a libation, and as we pour, as Brother Kasik, he's from the Taino people. The power and the beauty of Garifuna is we have the two blood in our veins, the African and the indigenous. So we want to celebrate that. Indigenous, African, Taino. Okay? So give Brother Kasik a round of applause. Welcome.
On that note, just for a few seconds, I would like us to acknowledge the indigenous people of these lands, the Iroquois people, the Mohawk people, and the Lenape people, because it is through working together that we're able to achieve liberation. So honor those spirits, the spirits of this land, that have welcomed us to this place for us to settle and do the work that we're doing. And from there, we move to our roots.
Okay.
To you, sister.
So we're going to remember, first of all, for those of you who just came from the homecoming at Balisau, you can stand, honor our sovereign chief and king, Joseph Chatouillet, the only hero of Urume. I invite you to call the names of your ancestors that you want to be present in this sacred space. Godsman Celestino Ellis, Baroda. Call the names of your ancestors. Marcos Mosiah Garvey. Call him. Yes. 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 The shoulders on which we stand. Keep calling them in your hearts, in your spirit. Yes. 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 Sereme will invite all of you to stand. We'll invite all of you to stand at this time. And we will do, we would like you to take your little finger. The little finger shows that no matter how small, we are connected. And we Maroon and indigenous people do this. I went to Nova Scotia some time ago and was amazed that just like the Garifuna, the Maroons in Nova Scotia were doing this. We're going to do the Abe Mahani, sacred prayer of surrender this time and this day to the divine hands. Shibungio leader sufula. You be la paruwe yawo. Adugwala leba buseru. Leader sufula. Wago shibungio leader sufula. You be la paruwe yawo. Adugwala leba buseru. Leader sufula. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done here on earth as it is in heaven. Here on earth as it is in heaven. Wagushi bungio leader songfula. You be la paruwe yawo. Adugwala leba buseru. Leader songfula. Leader mua. Leader songfula. So there we have it. We surrendered everything totally into the hands of the divine. That is the only way that our struggles will be overcome. That is the only way that we as the Garifuna nation have overcome genocide. And we are here to tell the story and move on together. Itarala.
I want to introduce Sister Reverend Dr. Angelique Walker-Smith to introduce Queen Mother Amy Ephemia Jakes Garvey's soliloquy to be done by Sheila Brown. Sister Angelique.
Good evening, everyone. Isn't this an amazing evening already? Can you just give a hand clap for everything that's happened this evening already? Just thanking God and thanking you. Oh, it's just amazing. We also want to sing, because we're on the soil of the U.S., just one verse of the anthem of people of African descent in this country. Can you rise just for the first verse of the national anthem of our people in this country, written by our own brother, James Weldon Johnson? Can we sing just that first verse? Ready? Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven rings. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise out in the listening skies. Let us resound loud as the roaring sea. Give our people a hand. You may be seated. Thank you so much for that. All of you should have your programs. We are now very honored to have now the voice, one of the great voices from Harlem, who will come and be embodied in the person of Sister Sheila, who will come and remember our dear ancestor. The Queen Mother, who will come, she will come and embody the Queen Mother from this period in the early 1900s. Sister Sheila, are you there? Where is she? Here she comes. Get ready.
It takes some big physical demonstration to make some Negroes appreciate the necessity for and worthiness of the program of Garveyism. The Chinese War, now being waged, has done it. 10 years ago, when Marcus Garvey started his crusade and informed a warring world that peace could only be brought about when each race, group, and nation learned to respect the rights of the other. And just as Europeans claimed Europe as their exclusive possession, so should Asia be for the Asiatics and Africa for the Africans. It was laughed at by some Negroes and dubbed a dangerous man by European land grabbers. Today, the slogan, Asia for the Asiatics, created by a black man, is the war cry of millions of oppressed Chinese who are letting Europeans know and feel that their home is in Europe, unless they are willing to be governed by Chinese. Thousands of white people are packing up bags and baggage and leaving China for the Chinese. Hundreds of years of prayers, petitions, and appeals made no impression on the powerful European nations who were busy exploiting China. But less than 1 year of fighting made the decision to leave China for the Chinese. Under the caption, "Want it, fight for it," Mr. Arthur Brisbane of Hearst Publications writes, "If you want anything in selfish civilization, fight for it." China started fighting, and Europe suddenly becomes polite. China has learned what Africa is now learning, that what is worth living for is worth dying for. But Africa is not asleep. She is organizing herself, uniting her tribes, educating her children, linking hands with her scattered children throughout the world, instilling in them the love of race and the love of country. It is a great task, but once the task is done, the battle will be comparatively easy. For what human forces could be successful in defeating 400 million well-trained Negroes? They had better sense than to try such an unequal conflict. Africa will be redeemed, perhaps without the shedding of blood, and the Europeans will yield as gracefully as they yielded to the Chinese. But in the meantime, Africa bides her time, and from the ocean strand, oh, jungle, mountain, vale, and mead, the sweat rod unity will speed on wings of winds and woo our fretful folk into one dream, one voice, one heart, one hope, and once again she'll claim her sacred right to rule herself apart from the alien right. But if once more the pale-faced man shall say, "Oh, not yet, thou backward race, still thine to pay," I quake to think how sworn arms shall hurl thundering tears at a grasping world when Africa awakes.
Thank you, Queen Mother Jock Garvey. We appreciate and love your message. Thank you. And that was done in the early 1900s. Just saying, right here in Harlem. So now we go to the rest of our program. And if you have your program, then you will know that we're now going to hear from Bishop Joseph Tolton, who is representing one of our sponsors. If you look at the bottom of your page, you will see this is a beautiful Pan-African collection of those who've come together to make this evening possible, including you. And one of those partners is the Advocacy for Africa Network based in Washington, D.C., and Bishop Joseph Tolton is going to give us a very brief greeting to say thank you and to honor us.
Thank you so much, Reverend Angelique, for your kind introduction, and greetings to all of my brothers and sisters and siblings that are here today. On behalf of our sponsor, ADNA, of which I am a very proud member, I bring you greetings of Pan-Africanism. According to Judeo-Christian mythology, the divine created humankind in God's own image. And the first directive given by God is that we should have dominion over the earth. This impetus for dominion is hardwired in humanity's DNA. I contend that God's orientation toward dominion is a full-throttle expression of God's care for that which materializes out of the mind of God. The command for dominion was not to lord over, but to serve and to protect. The original tragedy of the garden was not Eve's conversation with the evil one, but rather Adam and Eve's confusion that they were two distinct beings and not one. This grave and costly misperception formed the soil for the imperial desire to flourish. As it relates to people of African descent, the horror of the Mafa of our slavery was the separation of Africans from each other and the deculturalization that ensued. The stripping of our royal garments, indigenous faith practices and epistemologies, and the disturbance of sociocultural understandings. We were separated from our tribes and from our clans. But ADNA believes that Black internationalism is a powerful idea because Black internationalism is a movement in which we who were separated decide to choose each other again and to affirm our oneness. Together, that choice for us to choose each other is in fact our greatest power. President Biden, Putin, and Xi Jinping, they need to see us choosing each other. Before we can ask France to pay its debt to Haiti, the French government needs to see us choosing each other. If we are serious about good governance around the continent of Africa, African dictators everywhere need to see us choosing each other. I am so proud to be a part of ADNA and to be a part of this great celebration of Black internationalism because we have come from everywhere to do something simple and profound, and that is to choose each other. Ashe and amen.
Thank you so much, Bishop Tolton, for that wonderful greeting. Now we want to invite Reverend Dr. Iva Carruthers, who is the matriarch and leader of the Samuel DeWitt Proctor Conference. Please, Dr. Iva, won't you come and greet us briefly? Thank you.
I choose you, and I know that you choose me. Thank you, Reverend Dr. Angelique, sister, and this wonderful family of the diaspora and of the continent, and we who are imbued with the divinity within. We are going to choose each other because we know who we are. I stand here and I must invoke. I cannot be here and not invoke the ancestral blessings and the influence on my life of Dr. John Henry Clark and Mother Sybil Clark from Harlem, and his teacher, John Glover Jackson, Dr. Ben Can you see them? Have you heard of them? Ashe. And then Mother Margaret Burroughs. And of course, Reverend Dr. Samuel DeWitt Proctor, who was pastor emeritus of Abyssinian Baptist Church in Harlem, the historic church for which my organization is named, the Samuel DeWitt Proctor Conference. I bring you greetings from our co-founders. I'm a co-founder along with the Reverend Dr. Jeremiah A. Wright Jr. and the Reverend Dr. Frederick Douglass Haynes, and our co-chair is Bishop Leah Daltrey, who you probably also have heard of. And I bring you greetings from the thousands of faith leaders and congregations and those we extend and work with throughout the world as a non-governmental organization of the United Nations, in which we claim and proclaim that we will not rest until justice comes. We stand at the intersection of justice and faith. I think our logo says that all 20 years we selected the Haitian maroon as our logo. And so we struggle to build capacity for our community, our leaders, our transgenerational processes to affirm from the womb to the tomb who we are. We do so through education. We do so by advocacy. We do so by activation. And most of all, undergirding that is Pan-African spiritualism, because we know it is also the unseen and not just the seen which will propel us to victory. And so I thank you for allowing me to share from my heart what it means to greet us in this space, my first time in this space. I'm from Chicago. And I just want you to know that I feel the ancestors here, and I know that we reflect the best of African consciousness. And so I hope and wish for us that this program will affirm over and over again that we are called to claim our story, to reclaim and tell our story. And so let us embrace what it means to remember the Ma'afa. Let us know what it means to have the wisdom of Sankofa and the power of Ma'at and the promise of Ubuntu. Welcome to this program.
Thank you so much, Dr. Iva Carruthers, for that wonderful greeting. Now we'd like to invite Dr. Sheldon Williams, who comes to us from the EdFu, yes, the EdFu Foundation, another sponsor and collaborator. Come on up.
Thank you, Reverend Walker. My name is Sheldon Williams. I'm the president of EdFu Foundation. We started our organization in 1999 in Mount Vernon, New York. I'm a native New Yorker, so I'm extremely glad to be here. My grandparents and father grew up here on 138th and Frederick Douglass. So I would like to say it's really hard to follow Dr. Carruthers. She is a legend. And thank you so much. It's so glad to see you again after the Faith and Repertory Justice side event that we had the other day. So I'm also the co-chair of the International Civil Society Working Group for the PFAD. And I just want to thank you all for coming out and, representing, doing your statements. Did you all enjoy the rain at the end? That was the ancestors cleansing everything, right? Because the way we were treated was not how we should have been treated when we came here. But the International Civil Society Working Group is going to ensure that the next time that we come back to the UN, that this is going to be our house. So we want to encourage you we'll be sending out a survey to put all your complaints and comments and constructive criticism on the survey, and join the working group if you do not know about it. There are plenty of members around, and we will definitely give you that information because we're stronger together. All right, so enjoy the evening, and again, thank you, Reverend Dr. Angelique Walker. Thank you.
Is Dr. Amara in the house? Dr. Amara Inya? Where is she? Come over here and just come smile. Stand up so we can see you. This is our other co-chair. We love you. Thank you both so much for your leadership. We're so honored. And now we'd like to bring up a video. Are we ready with the video from Dr. Masiwa Gunda from the World Council of Churches? He is our international staff leader around issues relative to the permit formal. Is he available for the screen? He is available for the screen. So let's hear from Dr. Gunda.
Good afternoon, sisters and brothers. I send you warm greetings from Geneva. I am Dr. Masiwa Gunda with the World Council of Churches. The discussion on the table today is one that should never leave the table until and unless visible action is taken to realize the aspirations, hopes, and dreams of so many. The simple facts are that faith communities, directly and indirectly, participated in the exploitation of Africans without regard to their humanity. They provided the theological and moral software to legitimize and rationalize the hunting, capture, trafficking, and enslavement of Africans. Faith communities are sitting on massive tracts of land and invaluable cultural heritage symbols, drawing profits. The enslavers and colonialists, using guns and laws they enacted themselves, drove the expropriation of land and artifacts. In Luke 19, verse 8, Zacchaeus said to Jesus, "Look, Lord, here and now I give half of my possessions to the poor. And if I have cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay back 4 times the amount." This shows an excellent outcome proceeding from a flawed process. I pray that we will be part of an excellent process that will lead to an excellent outcome. God bless you all for choosing to be here and not somewhere else. Confess, repent, repair. Only then will we be ready to reconcile as sisters and brothers belonging to the one human family. I wish you an engaging, honest, and transformative conversation. The World Council of Churches stands ready to journey with you all. Thank you.
We thank Dr. Hello. Well, we'll try again. We'll thank Dr. Gunda. We would now like to bring back Brother Egbert, who's going to bring us a word from the Garifuna Nation. Dr. Egbert, Mr. Egbert, yes, here he comes.
Thank you, Reverend Dr. Angelique, co-convener of this conference. Brothers and sisters, I bring greetings from the Garifuna Nation. As you know, our brothers and sisters are in the Caribbean. They are in Nicaragua. We are in Honduras. We are in Guatemala. We are in Belize. We are fighting for our indigenous and African rights. We are together. We were here before, as Van Sertima had said. We were here before. We did not lose land. Land was stolen. Our people were genocided. I say genocided. And so the struggle continues. In Honduras, developers are taking our lands and people are losing their lives. In Belize, recently, a developer went and just erased, bulldozed graves. We are all over continuing the fight for our liberation. Land, language, and liberation. Amandla, we move forward together. Thank you very much, Reverend Angelique, for this beautiful organization that we have brought together to continue the spirit in Harlem.
And he is my co-conspirator as well for this evening, as well as the committee. It's a wonderful joy to work with you, Dr. Egbert. Yes, indeed. We would now like to bring on our next speaker. We are honored to have the new special representative on racial equity and inclusion from the State Department. And she's a dear colleague who's worked with us at ADNA in our Pan-African Working Group. Please welcome with me Ms. Desiree Courier-Smith.
Good evening, good evening. Is it this one? Good evening. Thank you so much, Angelique, and thank you all for welcoming me here in this space, for creating this space. As Angelique said, I'm Desiree Courier-Smith. I'm the U.S. State Department's first ever Special Representative for Racial Equity and Justice. It was a position that was created just last year, and my mandate is to ensure that U.S. foreign policy promotes and protects the human rights of people belonging to marginalized racial, ethnic, and indigenous groups, including people of African descent, and to ensure that the U.S. is building global partnerships to combat structural racism, discrimination, and xenophobia. Not because we have solved these challenges in the United States, but because we recognize that these are global challenges. We're not the only country struggling with it, and I think that was so clear this week in the forum. I just want to thank you all for your work, for your activism, for your passion, for your joy, for holding us to account. It means a lot. I also want to especially thank Angelique, Adna, and the International Civil Society Working Group. As I mentioned to you all, those of you who were able to attend our side event yesterday on Black health disparities in the United States, that was a direct result from your feedback. So I am here, I'm at the State Department, I want to hear from you. You all help me to do my job. I can't do it without you, and I can't do it without you because that gives me and then I won't have any credibility. So I just want to thank you all. Thank you again for creating this space, for welcoming me into it, and for all the work that you're doing to combat anti-Black racism, but to also build a world where we can be free and all of our rights can be respected, and being born Black doesn't determine how long you live or your life outcomes. That is the world in which we are trying to work towards. We're far away from it, but being in this room, being here this week at the UN, representing the US, has given me a little bit more hope. And it also just is deeply personal to me as a person of African descent, now representing the country where that enslaved my ancestors, right? And so I, again, just thank you for having me. Thank you for the work you're doing. And I look forward to working with you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for honoring us with those words. We now would like to bring the rapporteur of the Permanent Forum of People of African Descent, our dear friend, Dr. Michael McErring. Michael, where are you? I know he's here. I greeted him. Michael? I know they will find him. He's back there eating somewhere. Here he comes. He comes all the way from Europe to be with us. And he's a dear friend of a few years now. And he's the one that helped write that report today and made sure we have a way for it. Please greet our dear friend, Dr. Michael McErring.
Good evening, everyone. And so, yes, I'm a member and the rapporteur of the UN Permanent Forum of People of African Descent. Haven't slept for a minute this night, literally. So I wrote the preliminary conclusions and recommendations that were presented today. And yes, glad to be here. Don't know what sort of an event this is, but it seems great. and the food is wonderful, and yes, nice atmosphere. So yes, thanks a lot, everyone. And if you have any questions about the Permanent Forum, I'd be happy to take any questions. I don't know how many of you were at the Permanent Forum these past days. Okay, all right, like half of the room maybe. All right. So I could maybe say a few words about the Permanent Forum. So the Permanent Forum was established by the General Assembly on August 2021, and the part of its mandate is to act as a consultative mechanism and global platform for people of African descent across the world and other relevant stakeholders. And it is to give advice to the Human Rights Council and the General Assembly on people of African descent, and to coordinate the UN system around people of African descent, and to contribute to a UN declaration on the human rights of people of African descent, which is supposed to be ready next year, but it will probably take a little longer than that. And yes, I'm one of 10 members, and yeah, among our central courses, if you will, is reparatory justice, and we had our second session just ended today. It went on for 4 days, and on the program was global reparatory justice, Pan-Africanism for dignity, justice and peace, transnational migration, and what was it? Health and data, right? Data and systemic racism. So that was the program, and yes, lots of people, about 1,000 civil society participants from around the world. So it was quite good. Yes. Sorry? April, Geneva. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Even bigger and better. Let's hope. Yes. All right. Thanks a lot, everyone. Enjoy yourselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for honoring us. You could have been in bed or someplace instead of being here, so thank you, because I know you stayed up the whole night before. Bless you for your sacrifice. We thank you. Now we really like to invite a recognition of one who has just come to the front of the room, and that is Queen Mother Blakely from Harlem. And so we bring the mic to her. If she wants to just holler at us very quickly.
First of all, it's such an honor to have Nubian people and the spirit of my ancestors in the Royal Court of Harlem. And being here in the spirit of Queen Mother Audley Moore, and at the United Nations was totally historical. And with Queen Mother Blakely been in the UN for 54 years as a humanitarian, waiting for you. So everything is in divine order that what happened the last 3 days. And with that, Queen Mother would leave in the energy of Queen Mother Audley Moore, who lived to be almost 100 years old. And she had one single issue, and the word is reparations. She said, children, go get your reparation. Go get your money. They owe you. Go get it. They owe you for the greatest crime ever committed against the people. And so being with Queen Mother for 20 years, her echoing those words, and I'm sure that she was so thrilled spiritually to see over 1,000 of you gathered in the United Nations. I will say for you, with the leadership and the decisions that you're making, bring in the young people. They are shaping the world they want. They are shaping the Africa they want. And I would say to all of you, as Queen Mother is celebrating the 50 years of Boogie Down the Bronx, because Queen Mother is a hip-hop Queen Mother. And so with that, I will drop the mic in the blessing and say to all of you, stay on the sacred path of life. and I dropped the mic.
Isn't it an honor to have her in this space? 50 years she's been waiting for us. Oh my gosh, that's a huge place. That's a huge piece right there. Okay, so now we're going to move to our keynote speakers. Keynote doesn't mean like a long time, but like they're the feature, one of the features. And it's my understanding that we have Mr. Julius Garvey, who's ready now. Is that right? Can we have that confirmation? Mr. Julius Garvey. And we also had Dr. Miria Fanon Mendez. She was on earlier. No, he's going to come now here. Yeah, yeah. Egbert, are we ready there? Sorry? I can't hear him. Not yet. Okay, is Dr. Fanon Mendez there? While we're waiting, I think the music group is here. I think they can offer us some music while we wait for the technology to work its way through. Can we have the musicians to come back? Sorry? I think we should. Let's go ahead with the greeting from the historic Black Colleges and University, Dr. Vicky Willis Casanova.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I wanted to first say how honored I am to be in this sacred space. Is it not amazing? Yeah, so I wrote this down because I could be long-winded, and that's probably why Reverend Dr. Angelique was like, man, is somebody else here that can talk? But I'll be really quick. I wanted to say thank you so much, but also that I'm an honorary member of the Belizean Cultural Bearers from Chicago, Illinois. I've been so blessed to meet the Turtle Band, to learn with folks, and to eat at Garifuna Flavor. And so this is really a special time for me. I thank you. Honoring my God and my ancestors, without whom there would be no we and no me. Specifically, my late mother, as we remember our roots, Dr. Mabel Jones Henderson, who at her untimely death at age 66 was the acting vice president for academic affairs at Tougaloo College in Jackson, Mississippi. I wanted you to know one of the ancestors that I honor and think of when I realize that's why HBCUs are deeply rooted in my DNA, the Divine Nine, all of that. It's ride or die for me. There's just been, such a overnight sensation kind of phenomenon going on with HBCUs, right? But we know that when no one else would allow these educators, these scholars, the young people from the Delta who they socially promoted while refusing to teach them anything, it was Black colleges and universities that picked them up. It was Black colleges and universities that welcomed, from a Pan-African perspective, for years, folks from the continent, like Brother Kwame Nkrumah and many others. So this is not new for us. We know that when people discover you, they sometimes jump in and start doing it better than you did, and let's not let that happen. Keep working together to honor the Pan-African nature that is who we are. I just quickly wanted to also uplift one person who, he's not an ancestor, but he's not fully here. I speak this way because we have to uplift within the right to health the fact that dementias and Alzheimer's and other types are really decimating our community. People are sleeping on the data that's evident on that. We have to lift this up. I also want us to lift up the fact that with all that education that we get, it's Black women that are bearing this overburdening debt. We need to lift each other up, and again, thank you. I'm over my 2.5 minutes, I know, but I will say this. There's several history makers in this room, but the brother that I speak of, who I said is here but not here, he helped lead us, really, in bringing human rights home, moving from civil rights to human rights as a lawyer who went all the way to Geneva and then back. He insisted on working as an attorney with the community. So let's not let folks divide us and have some people work on this human rights next step and not the others. The cultural piece is the root. We have the right to culture and the right to education. This is the 75th anniversary year of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Y'all know what these are? Okay, next time we're here, or you're with us, or wherever we are, you know what these are. Make sure that our young people know what they are, because we already know there's a higher level of rights, but they're codified here, and it's law, and we can claim them. Thank you so much. They're meeting in Austin right now, Texas, or they would have been here. Thank you.
Okay, checking on Dr. Garvey. Is he available at this point? Not yet. Okay. That's all right. The musicians are coming right now, so I know you love this. So here we go. Come on up and give us another presentation. Thank you so much. Let's welcome them. Well, that was amazing. That was, let's give him another hand. Give him another hand. That's right. Okay. So, as they say, I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is you're still here and we have a program. The bad news is we have technical difficulties with Dr. Fanon Mendez. You know she's in Europe. So you know what time it is over there? It's very late. So I think we missed our opportunity. She was on at the beginning, but we got off to a late start for good reasons. And then with Dr. Garvey, unfortunately, we just can't get through on the line with him at this time. But I have good news for you, more good news. We not only have had people of African descent, but we have had people from Africa in this meeting this week. And it is really important. Ooh. It's really important, I think, for us to hear from that. And one of the issues that's on our hearts is, I can share, it was the first place I went to on the continent of Africa, and that was to Darfur in Sudan many years ago. And I'm very pleased to say that we have one of the leaders from the revolution of women and girls in Sudan who brought down the government. We have Dr. Dima Mahmoud, who was a part of this moment, and she is here tonight. And I'm going to ask her to just say a word about Nubia and Sudan, to come and just say a brief word. Dr. Mahmoud, are you there? I think you would want to hear about Sudan in this moment. Dr. Mahmoud. Okay. But yes, she has been doing amazing work stateside and globally around the issues around the movement on the, in the country of Sudan, of course, in the northern parts. And Queen Mother was just there. That's right. So we know Sudan is on our heart. We know Nubia matters. And we just heard that from Queen Mother. But to have her here in the country at this moment, here she comes, Dr. Dima Mahmoud. Please welcome her. Just a brief word about your heart. Okay? Brief word.
Maskagro, ay Dima Mahmoud, ay Nuban Uru. I greet and bless you in my Nubian ancestors' tongue. I am from Sudan. The full name of my country is the land of the blacks, Bilad as-Sudan. I will only ask you to ask yourself why the international outcry for Ukraine and the international blind eye for the land of the blacks. This is why we're not on the news. This is why we are carrying our own evacuation over Twitter and over social media. This is why no country will speak. And this is also why we were not present in this forum. Ask more questions, please, and keep your eyes on Sudan. And please remember that when I say Sudan, I don't mean the land. Sudan is land and people. And if you don't have your eyes on Sudan, if you don't know what Sudan looks like, he's right here. Every Sudani is Sudan. Please keep your eyes on Sudan. I really appreciate you. We choose
We are with her. We are with our people around the world. We are Pan-African. We are God's people. And we thank God for her. So, brothers and sisters, on that note, we will have just a closing sending, and then we will have celebration, and then we will depart from one another, I trust, with a great lament and hope in our hearts. And so I am going to invite Bishop Tolton to come up here again and give us a closing sending, and then we'll have some more music and celebrate who we are and whose we are. Thank you for being with us this evening. We love you much. Looking forward to 2024. God bless.
Amen and God bless. Can we hold each other's hands as we now invite the spirit of our ancestors into the room? We pour out our own spirits onto the ground in this room because we are sitting in a sacred space and standing on holy ground. I invite the people of Haiti into the room. We see their struggle, we see their hope, and we see their victory. And you can say Ashe. We invite the people of Sudan into the room. We see their struggle, and we see their hope and their victory, and we say Ashe. We invite the people of Ethiopia into the room. We see their struggle, we see their hope, we see their victory, and we say Ashe. We invite the people in Eastern Congo who are subjects to war into the room. We see their struggle, we see their hope, and we see their victory, and we say Ashe. We invite the people in Uganda into the room. We see their struggle, we see their hope, we see their victory, and we say Ashe. We invite Black Iraqis into the room who often feel as if they are forgotten among us as Pan-Africanists. We see their struggle, we see their hope, we see their victory, and we say Ashe. We invite all people of African descent into the room. We see our struggle, but we see our hope, and we see our victory. This we say in the name of the blood and the power and the victory of our ancestors, for our hope is better than where we're going, is better than where we have been. We say, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Peace be with you, and bless you.
Thank you, Bishop. Have a beautiful evening. We'll be here about 15 more minutes, and have a beautiful travel home. There's an announcement very quickly.
My name is Wellington Ramos. I am a Garifuna from Dangriga, Belize. One of the things that is not known to a lot of people is the sufferings of our people. And the world needs to know our history and what we have been through. Just last week, they found the body of a Garifuna man who is probably our relative from Triunfo de la Cruz in Honduras. I will tell you something. My great-grandfather is from Triunfo de la Cruz. His name is Juan Petillo. And just before this gentleman died, there was a Garifuna person who was killed in January. And a couple of years ago, 5 of them are still reported missing. From the time we landed in Rotan on April 12, 1797, we are still suffering from racism, discrimination, and all sorts of human rights violations. And I will tell you why. We are the only black people in the Americas that fought the Good War. We fought against the Spanish in 1498. We defeated them. We fought against the French in 1640. We defeated them. We fought against the British from 1773 to 1795, and we defeated them. The country that we own is St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In our language, Yurume. That is the real name. We were moved from our country to Rotan. Now we live in Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Belize, and the United States. From 2,500 people, we number 600,000 people. We have fought the good fight, and we are going to continue to fight because they will never get rid of us. Let me just remind you of something. When you see a person, all you see is the face and the flesh, but the spirits remain. Our ancestors with us, and we are going to die fighting until the day we die, and even after we die, we'll still be here fighting. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much. Have a beautiful night, everyone, and go with prayers in your heart. We turn it over to the musicians. Thank you. God bless.